14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
Episode 51 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM and Willimantic Today Facebook. Oh, and... another and Spectrum 192, right? J-Man Report?
Yes, sir.
Am I missing it? Oh, there's the WILI YouTube channel, of course. Hometown Threads comes your way every week. Big thanks to our sponsor, our fine sponsor, Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind, with 3 great local locations. West Main Street, Willimantic, Gateway Commons, across the street from the radio station, 679 Main Street, and right up the street, Route 195 in Mansfield, Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind. J-Man Report, if you wouldn't mind. Say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
Here we go, episode 51, and it's a pleasure to bring in another DeVivo. Gee, I may have to get John in soon.
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about, I had Tom, of course, the mayor. Probably about a year ago, we talked about the old days of Willie Waste.
Mayor Tom.
Now we bring in another D. I had Tommy. I call Mayor Tommy D. He said I have permission to call you Timmy D. Right?
Oh,
right?
Well, he is the big brother, so he gets first choice. Hold on. This is a Liberty Bank. I got to hold their pen instead of the other.
Oh
one.
yeah, I better get this
little promotion for the family.
You hold that one. I'll
exactly.
I'll just pick up another pen. Anyway, so yeah, it's weird because I thought I had your number in my phone. I don't know why I didn't, but I texted Mayor Tommy D, and I guess he's so used to me calling him Mayor Tommy D. I was about to. I had already texted you Timmy D, and Tom fired back. Goes, you can call him Timmy too. I said, oh, I already did. So we got Tim DeVivo in here, the owner of the Wyndham Golf Course.
Yep.
Congratulations on that. I know you've seen.
Thank you.
I've seen you before. Since then.
You played.
That's right. I played at that. That was the Rotary tournament back in July, August. It was a great time. The weather was cooperative, and there was how many people would you say played that?
We had 120 people for that turnout. It was for the Rotary Club.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great event.
And it was a scramble, and you guys do that every year, right?
Yeah, this is our second. We'll be going on our third year, and we do it as a major fundraiser for the Holy Family Shelter over on Jackson Street.
That's right. Now, of course, not only owning the Wyndham Golf Course, but you're also active in the Rotary. You just brought up the Rotary.
Yes.
So you do that as well these days.
Been a member for 25 years, and we meet every Tuesday at Fairways Bar and Grill, the golf course.
That's right.
And right now, Anita Sebastian is our president.
Who will be in here following Hometown Threads. She does the neighborhood with Ernie.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job. And last year we had Angela Smart, another Liberty
Bank across the street here from the radio station.
And, we're a smaller group now, as most clubs are. But we're active every week, and we're always doing something for the community.
Now, along with Wyndham Golf Course, Rotary, what else does Tim DeVivo do? Or is that, I know that's a lot already, but am I missing anything?
Well, happily married for 33 years to Carrie, and have 4 kids. They're all adults now. I got one left.
Name the kids. How old they are?
Brianna's 29.
Don't mean to put you on
Julia's
the spot.
26. It could be. Christina's 25, and Nolan's 22. And
wow.
They're all getting out there in their world and starting their careers.
Do they golf?
Nolan does.
Okay.
Christina goes out there and has a few cocktails and hits the ball around.
Nice.
And Julia will drive a cart, and Brianna, nope, nothing.
All right. You just mentioned before Fairways Bar and Grill. Of course,
yes.
Connected to the Wyndham Golf Course, a great place to dine as well.
Yeah, thank you.
And do a great job over there as well. Rochelle, does she run the ship
Rochelle
over there?
Campbell, she's a fantastic general manager for us, and she's been with the course before I purchased it for about 4 or 5 years now, and she's got a fantastic team underneath her, and she's doing a great job, and we're doing a lot of improvements to get open for next year.
Excellent. We'll get more into the Wyndham Golf Course because I want to ask about the simulators, which is the talk of the town these days. With my father, who just left for a little vacation, when he comes back, he's like, we got to go up there and play with the simulators. So we're very excited about that. Tim DeVivo, owner of the Wyndham Golf Course, with us. I just mentioned before that we had Mayor Tom DeVivo on about a year or so ago here on Hometown Threads to talk about the old days of Willie Waste. And then, of course, Brother John, who I just saw Saturday night, is a member of the Knights of Columbus with me here in Willimantic Council 14.
Me too.
That's right, you a knight?
I'm a knight. Geez,
I totally
that's right. You don't get
Why'd
my
you start coming to our meetings?
Well, I did. I went to the coat drive.
That's right. Well, I thought you were just there
Well,
for
that was
Rotary.
Rotary, but I was there as a knight.
I
too.
totally forgot. I don't know if John ever
Well,
told
John,
me
you
that.
know, they want my $40 every year. So
Pay your dues.
that's it. It's due now. I noticed. John,
I know. I just got mine.
Exactly.
Anyway, so let's go back, as I do with a lot of my guests, especially when I have somebody in here that grew up in this community, such as you and myself. I take it you because your sister Gina is my sister's age. Did you grow up going to St. Mary, St. Joseph as well?
No. It's a great story.
Gina
on that
did,
whole thing.
Gina,
Gina,
yeah.
and then John and Bridget. So after Mayor Tommy D and Timmy D went to Wyndham Public Schools,
You
the
did.
parents said, "You know what? You guys cause too many problems. Your siblings will get taken advantage of, and I shouldn't say taken advantage of, but they'll be not looked at the same light." So they sent them off to private schools.
So really, Tommy D and Timmy D go to public school,
Yeah.
and then they changed it up starting with John then.
Exactly.
Or you go John, Bridget.
It goes
Bridget, John-
Bridget, John,
Bridget,
and
John,
then
Gina.
Yeah.
So starting with Bridget, they went to
They shipped her off to the Balkan school.
Well, you guys turned out all right. You
Yeah,
and
we're
Tom.
doing okay. Yeah.
All right, so you grew up going. What was it?
Yeah, so I actually started off. I was actually my first year in kindergarten. I was in the ECSU pre-kindergarten class that they had over on Wyndham Street. The building's torn down now, but it was like the first one that they opened the first year.
Okay.
And so I guess you go back 55 years ago.
Gotcha.
Not to age myself. And then I went to Noble School. That was
All right, yeah.
fantastic. Remember walking to school every day with Mike Connors and Ronnie Dion, hiked down the hill, and did our best to be late for school.
Even in the snow, where these
Even in
days
the
you have a
snow.
dusting of snow, and everyone goes back to bed. Meanwhile, there was like over a foot of snow. We'd all they wouldn't close the doors. We'd go to school.
Exactly. And then I prided myself. So then I went to Kramer School. Okay, no tapping.
I was about to
Then,
grab that Liberty Bank.
Yeah,
buddy.
that's it. So Kramer School from 5th to 8th, and then Wyndham High School. Then went across the street to Eastern. So actually I had all my formal education off of High Street.
Wow, how about
So that
that?
was a pretty neat little tidbit.
You
for
finished at Eastern
elementary.
too?
Finished at Eastern, met my lovely wife.
How'd you meet
And,
Carrie? Tell us about that.
Well, what story do you want to hear? Her story or my story?
Both. Let's tell your story.
So we played intramural sport. I played intramural sports with one of her best friends. To this day, she's still a good friend with Kathy Hernarski.
Okay.
And we were both taking winter intercess courses. And we met in Schaefer Hall. And so she introduced us, and we literally just both broken up from other relationships. And so I said, hey, let's go to Blarney's. And we went to Blarney's, and then the rest is history.
Wow. Schaefer Hall, that's why I went to nursery school.
Oh. Okay, well, maybe you were down there. Oh, wait a second. I'm not that old.
But anyway, so Blarney's is a special spot for
Yeah,
you guys.
special
Very nice.
spot, exactly.
That's great.
Never carved our names in the booth, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never did that.
Okay, so what year? I know you said 33 years.
So I graduated, what year was I married? Hold on, I got to do the math. on that
33,
one.
20,
But no,
24. my
graduated high school in 81, then took a couple years off, went on a trip out west to California and spent a couple years out there just
Doing what?
trying to, interestingly enough, I made stunt kites in San Diego. You know, the ones that you control with the two
Really?
hands and you do all the loops and
Really?
tricks. The name of it was called Hyper Kites,
Okay.
and down on Balboa Park in San Diego, and I did that for almost 2 years. It was the most exciting time of my life.
So was it totally unplanned? Like you said, I'm just going out to California and live for 2 years and find whatever I find as a occupation.
Pretty much, just went out west, and you're supposed to do that when you're.
I didn't get married until I
19
was
at the
39.
time.
No, it's the same
So,
way.
There you go.
I
And,
moved around doing radio a lot.
we
yeah.
just hit the road, and I woke up on a floor and looked outside one morning and saw a sign someone was putting up, help wanted. Went down there, applied for it, and got the job that afternoon, and the rest is history. So I did that for almost 2 years while I was out there. It was a lot of fun.
Now let me ask you this: so you said only 2 years out in San Diego, which is one of the probably they call it America's most beautiful city. What made you? I know friends and family are all back here. Was that what brought you?
So I
back
actually
east?
drove out west with my cousin Bob, and the original intent is my other cousin Donnie, the repasses there from East Hartford, was in the Navy, and he was getting out of boot camp, and we figured we'd go out there for a couple weeks right before he graduated. And then he was thinking he'd get stationed there. Ironically, we get out there, we have a great time on the beach and hanging out. He gets relocated to New London, Connecticut.
No.
And we said, well, we're not going back to Connecticut. Let's stay out here in San Diego. And we then waved, bye-bye.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
no,
he
that
goes
was
back to
great.
New London. You guys stay in San
Yeah,
Diego.
so my cousin Bob and I, we stayed there. My cousin was into construction, and we slept in a van for a couple months. But
Really?
yeah, we had a great time. It was just those things you do when you're young and dumb.
Is the Mystery Machine, Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, well, it was a little beat-up green machine.
Did you go on tour with the Grateful Dead, too? I mean,
We went to one Dead show,
Oh,
no
geez.
question about that. We did a lot of hiking and camping out there,
oh.
and it was just a wonderful place to be.
And I know
Obviously, the beach.
Wayno talks about being from Southern California all the time.
It's
I've been
everything
to
he says.
I've been to LA a bunch of times. I know Wayno lived outside of LA. I have a very good friend of mine who does mornings station out in Northern California in the Bay Area. I've never been to Northern California, and I haven't been to San Diego, but I've been to Los Angeles. So San Diego's on my bucket list.
Two different worlds.
Oh,
no
yeah,
question
no,
about it.
definitely.
So actually, at the end of my expose out there, I spent 2 months in San Francisco with a couple guys from Willimantic that I knew
Wow.
lived out there.
That's crazy.
Dave Davis and Dan Brown.
So what happens? Okay, so you do that for 2 years. So what brought you back?
So I just really, at the end of the day, my father on Thanksgiving of the year, Doug Flutie threw his Hail Mary pass.
I remember that.
We were watching it and called home to say Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And he's like, so you had enough, kid? I said, I looked around and said, yeah, I think so. I don't have enough money to fly home, so back then you could get flights for $99. So he wired me $100. I got on a plane. I was home in a week. Enrolled at Eastern that January.
Oh, okay. So that's right before Easter. So you did the.
Exactly. Did my travel time and had a,
So
got
you
it
did
out
the
of
travel
my
time right out of
system.
high school.
Yeah, right out of high school. And if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna get up, probably my only advice is follow your dreams and aspirations, and you never know where the world's gonna take you.
It's a great quote. Put that in writing. So, okay, you come back, you enroll at Eastern. Now, you do all 4 years, you graduate at what was it, ECSU, or was it still ECSC back then?
ECSU.
Okay, so
Just trained to the university.
So you complete-
graduated in '89.
complete your higher education at Eastern Connecticut State University. Now what for Tim DeVivo?
Well, then I got married.
You got married,
Yeah,
but
Carrie graduated in '90, so we were a year apart.
was she going? Oh, she went to Eastern, right?
She went. That's
Yeah.
where we met.
That's where,
Schaefer Hall. It's
that's
okay.
right.
Yeah.
The sports. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then so then we at that point I had a house out in South Wyndham, and so we got married in '92
Mm-hmm.
and had our first child in 95.
Okay, but
Should remember that, right?
You should.
95.
Now you graduate Eastern, you get married to Carrie, you have a kid. What are you? Are you already working for the family business?
So at that point, yeah, I used to run DeVivo's warehouse. Remember going there as
That's
a little
right.
kid?
I forgot about the
Yeah, I
DeVivo's
used
warehouse.
to do that when I was in college. I worked Saturdays and Sundays, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, it wasn't fun getting up early in the morning on the weekends. I was
Yeah.
a college student, but got up every day and sold all sorts of merchandise. And
I forgot
that
about
was
the
a
DeVivo's
blast.
warehouse.
Yeah.
Now, where was that located again?
So if you go down, it was back then it was called Columbia Avenue, and so it was the road right before the recycling plant.
Oh, right before.
Yeah, right after the Chronicles Road.
Okay.
And then so it was up in the corner there, the old handicap ramp that would bring it up there. And I did that for actually all 4 years while I was in college. I worked every Saturday and Sunday.
You and
then-
Tom?
No, Tom actually, at that point he was married and had kids, and he was working for the recycling business.
Oh, Tom was already okay.
Tom was already established in the world and on his way to great fame in politics.
Yeah, back then. Not to get off. I want to come back to DeVivo's warehouse.
That's
for a
okay,
second. Did Tom know early on that he wanted to get in? Like, I mean, early on. Like, around the time frame we're talking about now, that he wanted to get involved in local politics? Or
You know, I don't want to really speak for him, but I think we were brought up by two strong parents, Jim and Mary Lou, and our father was always active in politics. He was an alderman and on the school board, and my mother was always pushing us to, give back to the community, and, if you're here, always lend a hand. So I think all of us, John, Bridget, Gina, myself, and Tom, we were brought up to be civic-minded, and I think once Tom got the bug, the rest is history. I'm very proud of him.
All you DeVivos do so much for the community. We're so
Thank you.
so lucky.
So do you, Rice.
DeVivos and Rices have had a long time connection.
Exactly.
So Tim DeVivos with us here on Hometown Threads, episode 51 on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, and Willimantic Today Facebook and Spectrum Channel 192. Brought to you by Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind. Back to DeVivos Warehouse, because I want you to, let's reminisce a little for people.
That's a big reminiscence.
For people that aren't familiar or don't remember, there's a lot of people that are transplants here that don't know DeVivos Warehouse. Give us roughly, I don't want to put you on the spot, from when to when was it open, and what kind of stuff did you guys have at DeVivos Warehouse?
So originally our dad had an empty warehouse space, and he didn't know what to do with it, and he thought it'd be cool to have some sort of flea market. And so originally it started off as DeVivos Flea Market. And he sort of mirrored a little bit of what they did up at the Mansfield
I was about to say, is it like that?
Yeah. Similar, but we were indoors. So he said, I'll just do Saturdays and Sundays. And he used to rent out little corner booths.
Yeah.
And there was some old-time coin dealers, Tony Baroni, and all sorts of neat individuals that sold all sorts of crap. Shouldn't say it that way, but it's just
you can now.
it's flea market stuff. No, I mean they're
Actually, you'd be surprised. My wife and I love to go to these
it's
things.
great stuff,
Yeah.
and I don't, it's just stuff you don't need. But that being said, at that juncture, we didn't really, we got probably maybe 10 or 15 vendors that were there every week, and it sort of teetered off. And our father said, you know what, let's go in a different direction. I'll just do my own store, DeVivos Warehouse, and I'll just go out and start filling it with stuff that I come across.
Your dad was quite the entrepreneur.
And that was always his dream. Truthfully, unfortunately, died early. It was his dream to retire, make Tom and I work, and he would hang out on the weekends up at the flea market.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he never got a chance to do that. But that was his passion. And he would do all sorts of crazy things. I mean, he'd go down to New York City, buy a carload of stuffed animals and big grapes and giraffes and all sorts of, trying to think of that raisin commercial. He had this 6-foot giant raisin.
Wow.
That, can you imagine him driving home with that sticking out of the window?
And he would do this a lot?
Oh, yeah, he'd go down there every
By
couple
himself?
of weeks. No, he'd go down there with a bunch of old-timers from Willimantic, guys like Doug Frazier and Eddie Costa. And I don't know if your dad ever made the trip down there, but a lot of just local
I'm sure
people.
he did.
He'd go down for a ride, and he'd go out there, and he'd buy merchandise down in Chinatown and just bring back all sorts of crazy
Your
stuff.
parents got to be so proud of what you and Tom and Gina and John and what's Bridget doing these days?
So Bridget's actually married. She's living out in Griswold, Connecticut, and she has 3 children, and she's doing quite well.
And what does she do?
I think she retired,
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
Great. And we know John. I just saw Saturday night.
Arbonne.
Excuse me, he's at Arbonne Equipment Corporation, which is East or South Windsor, I always forget. But I know Arbonne. I met some of the people, including John and his lovely wife Monica were there Saturday night. We DJ'd an event at Simsbury Inn. And and Gina is, I know she's on the board now with the Holy Family Home and Shelter, but
Yes.
what does she do for work again? I always forget.
She's active in a lot of different community
Yeah.
organizations. And right now, I believe she works for some form of union organizer up at UConn. I'm not 100% sure of the title, but she's involved in that.
Now, let's get back to, as we continue to talk here with Tim DeVivo here. Tim DeVivo, we had Tom on, and John will probably be down the road, and who knows, probably Gina and
Exactly.
Bridget too. We got it, but let's talk about the Wyndham Golf Course. Tell us, remind us again, it was only a few years ago, how that all went down and how you got involved in wanting to purchase this. Tell us the story about how you became owner of the Wyndham Golf Course.
That's a good story.
Good.
Hopefully Carrie's not listening, but so obviously Tom and I sold the business after a couple. We probably ran it together for almost 28 years.
28.
And, at that point, we were sort of looking for a second chapter in our lives. And Tom wanted to go more into the politics side. And myself, I'm a couple years younger than him, and I didn't really know what to do. So we sold the business, but I didn't want to stay working for the new company just because I wouldn't have sold the company if I wanted to stay working there. And the golf course was up for sale. And I was sort of thinking to myself, I live in Mansfield, and literally it was a 10-minute ride to the waste on the west side of town. And it's a 10-minute ride to the golf course on the east side of town.
That's a sign.
And I'm like, this is perfect. I could do something locally, still be active.
You love golf too, don't you?
I do love golf. I've become accustomed to it. I got some great friends that I play with a lot.
Jamie Smart.
And Jamie
One of our
Smart,
mutual
Norm
friends.
Allard. Norm Allard taught me a lot about the game of golf and how to be humble. And it is probably the most humbling sport out there. Just really brings it to whatever you want. I can't swear in here.
Matt, can we?
Oh,
please-
that's
can we
right,
please-
Matt. You can edit. I heard. But no throwing clubs or anything like that. I play with a bunch of great guys, and I saw that it was challenged and had been neglected for many years. And when I was growing up, my father was never into golf, and he sort of thought it was silly that you would go out and hit a little white ball while you could be working instead of playing golf. And so he just was never a member. And so I always thought it was private. And then it sold a few times, and I just thought it was a great opportunity to renovate it. And I saw some niches that I think the community is going to need, or I'm hoping they need. And I'm building a new driving range for those who go down Club Road. It's a new green building.
Yeah,
It's going to be indoors. It's going to be completely high tech, and so it has a thing called Top Tracer. It's a software program that will actually track how you hit the ball, and even if you're not a golfer, it has games that you can just hit around on, and I'll be able to serve food and liquor there.
Really?
And ice cream for kids.
Oh my God! When are you aiming for this?
So if all goes well, it'll probably be sometime in April, beginning of May.
Okay.
I'll really, literally be waiting for the grass to grow on that.
Oh, I can't
And
wait
so
for this.
the
Every time I drive down
almost-
Club Road,
Yeah, it's almost completed. I'm working with a local company, there's a lot in the construction, and it's been a great progress. Taking a little longer than I was used to.
are you happy with when was the purchase again? 3 years ago?
2 years ago, actually,
years
coming
ago.
up February 1st.
Do you wake up every day going, "Oh my God, I'm the owner of the Wyndham Golf Course"? Come on,
Yes,
it's gotta
but I
be.
thought today it would be like, oh, I get to sleep in, but I had stuff to do.
Always stuff to do.
So,
you know?
exactly.
Well, congratulations. I
So
mean,
at the end of the day, I wanted a project that would keep me busy. I've still got a few good years left in me, and I don't want to just, a lot of people talk about retiring, and you got to have something to do.
why not golf?
And, golf, and I golf more. My new nickname is Golfy, according to Carrie. So
I know we're running a little late here, but I got a couple, man. I just got to squeeze in a couple more things here. So, tell us quickly about the simulators, and then after the simulators, I want you to do maybe some shout outs for people you want to thank along that have really helped you along this journey.
all right, so yeah, I purchased some indoor golf simulators that we've set up in the banquet hall during the winter times for those who might want to come in and practice or have a little party, bachelorette, bachelor party, whatever you
Fairways
might
Bar
want.
and Grill.
Birthday celebrations, and it's actually pretty neat, and you stay dry, and it's heated, and you can have fine food and beverages all day long. And as far as a shout out there, obviously I'd like to thank all the people of Willimantic. I think the community, it's great. I mean, I'm very happy that we moved back here, and my wife and I decided to settle down in the surrounding communities. Get a lot of teasing from Tom about living in Mansfield, but
Oh, come on.
it's the end of the day.
Tom
and,
tease? He never teases.
Just as far as, the community in general, a lot of good friends out there that, we raised our children in here and whatever school system they went to. just fantastic.
Well, it's
And,
great to get you in here. I didn't think it was a last-second thing, and we're glad you're able to make it. And congratulations and continued success over at the Wyndham Golf Course, and of course, Wyndham Golf Course, and of course,
There you
Fairways
go.
Bar and Grill. I want to thank Tim DeVivo for being in here, owner of the Wyndham Golf Course, for episode 51 of Hometown Threads. Brought to you by Liberty Bank, be community kind, on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM.
Liberty
And-
Bank got their pen.
And
That was
Willamette-
me tapping. So yeah.
And Willimantic Today Facebook, Spectrum Channel 192. Thank you to J. Matt Rupar. And we'll see you next week on Hometown Threads. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And in the words of the great Roddy McCumber,
Bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice. Or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.